Bam, bam, ba, da, da, ba, da, ba. Ba, da, da, bam, ba, da, bam, ba, ba. Da, 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 bam, ba, da, 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 ba, ba. Ba, da, da, bam, ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Da, 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 bam, ba, ba, da, da, ba. Da, 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 bam, ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Da, 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 bam, ba, da, da, bam, bam. Ba, da, da, da. Dum, ba-da-da, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-bum, da-da-da-dum, ba-bum, ba-ba-ba, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-bum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-bum, ba-bum, da-da-bum, da-da-da-dum, ba-bum, da-da-bum, ba-da-da-bum.
Excellent, excellent improvisation. Because I didn't have any intro music, and you seem to be excellent improviser, and you just provided it. Um, Everything seems to be perfectly connected and live. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Zane, for welcoming me back. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Okay, listen, we had such a pleasure to talking last time, so I think we decided that it deserves a continuous episode. So here
My
we are.
pleasure. My pleasure. And it's Christmas, so I thought it would be a nice Christmas present to everyone around there to share more love and more caring.
Exactly, exactly. So how you been since our last conversation?
I've been quite busy. I've been giving concerts, so singing. I love singing. Well, you just mentioned about my improvisation, so
Yes.
I've been singing in choirs for the last 30 years, and now I'm in major shows, which is wonderful. And last Friday was my first official improv uh, show. So being on stage doing improv, theater type improv. So a lot to celebrate. And
Okay.
you, what about you?
It's been quite a busy time as well.
Okay.
Me and my family, we do Christmas markets, and we do
Oh,
like, I don't have any example at the minute, but like one part of what I do is like I crochet little mushroom things, and
cool.
do like it's mostly for fun. I don't I don't earn a huge amount of money by
Mm.
doing that, but like I do crochet a tiny mushroom, and then I embroider it with beads and stuff, and so it's just some, and we'll dive deeper into it. Like, what does festive season mean to us, like each as individuals, and what it means for the people around us, especially kids, because I have my own kids, like little ones, and you, on a daily basis, you connect with with children, and you know children very well.
Mm.
So, uh, like I've been busy. It will sound a bit funny, but I'll say it anyways. Uh, I've been busy keeping myself
Okay.
calmer this year.
Okay.
And to my surprise, it takes a bit of an energy. And
Takes a lot of energy to stay calm, to
yeah,
put ourselves outside our habits because we do have habits and habits take over as soon as we're stressed, as soon as we feel under pressure, we don't think so much anymore and we get back into our spontaneous habits and they're not always the best ones.
yeah. Like for parents, that would normally be yelling most frequently, not being able to sleep, um, not being organized, or being overly organized, like putting the accents on the wrong in the wrong places. Like let's say you're perfectly perfect on the outside, like your shirts are perfectly ironed and everything looks nice, but in the inside, you're you're crying maybe, or you're just
Mhm.
maybe screaming already. So
And you said one of the most important word here. Maybe we'll get back on it later
yeah,
on, but perfect and perfectionism, and a lot of pressure comes from that. So um, perfection, helps us achieve maybe our dreams, our hopes, accomplish more. But often there's the other side of perfection, which is living under a lot of pressure. And it's
yeah,
often self-imposed pressure more than from the environment.
yeah, yeah, and hence the mushrooms. Because A, mushrooms are fun, and B, I this year I really, really wanted to go back to creating something that could be used as decoration and game, or something beautiful that kids or parents could use all year round. And the mushroom, I think, is kind of, it's festive. It feels
Mhm,
festive, you know.
mhm,
It feels
mhm.
festive to me. And little ones can also use it like counting games, or like being practical but fun in the same time. So that's been a big challenge for me last, I would say, last 2 months definitely, but especially last few weeks. And also, I don't know, maybe you could tell us about like little practical things that you do around not only Christmas time, but like any festive time, but especially during Christmas time. What are little things that you do? And if you're unable to do them, how you can take care of yourself if you know that you won't be able to do them?
Well, it's true, these holidays, in a way, are occasions to step out of the regular pressures of life and to reconnect to what we feel, or at least what I feel is essential in life, which is relationships, uh, either our parents, grandparents, cousin, nephews, near or far, friends, lovers. Um, in our day-to-day life, often we get caught up in our dreams, and in our fears. And it's okay to have fears, but it's also okay to have dreams. Um, so the pressure we feel is the desire sometimes to please, to do, to bring more love, or to bring more joy, or to express. And then under the side, there's also our basic needs. I'm a hugger, I like to hug people. Um, Sometimes
And I'm
people say
not a hugger. I'm definitely not a hugger.
they're not a hugger, and that's it. Because sometimes I meet people, so I'm kind of careful, you could say. It's always an invitation, and then I see if the person in front is somebody who has that body language, who has that desire. So um, holidays is a time to uh, step out of our routine, you could say. Dangers of that, of course, is that you set up another routine. Often I hear about people going on vacation and they're exhausted from their vacation because they had to have a good vacation. We only have a week. We must make the best of this week. So here's the schedule. And this is what I want to do during my holiday. Um, in my holiday, I like to get lost. I'm very
What do you
mental.
mean? Explain, like how you get lost in a holiday.
I mean, some days I have my map and I have my plan, and I say, okay, I'm gonna go visit this museum or this cafe or this tourist spot. And other days I say, okay, I'm just gonna walk and let's see where I'm gonna end up. Uh, and often I find both of these possibilities have different gifts in them. Um, when you do a timeout from yourself, when you get lost from yourself, suddenly you open yourself to your intuition, um, because your eyes and your ears are suddenly going to hear things that your mind was too much busy, you know. So then your intuition talks to you and says, oh, I'm going to go down this little street, or oh, I see this color over there, over this cafe, or um, I always give the example of if like, you know, living your life, you know, there's people living their life through TV, okay, and there's people living, let's say you're in a plane, okay, and you go really, really fast, and basically you see your life through the window of the airplane, okay. So the experience you have is basically just with your eyes. Now, let's see you're getting in a car to go from one place to the other one. Well, now you're in the car, okay. Now maybe you can lower down the window, okay. And now you can feel the wind. So you have the eyes, but because you've slowed down, now you have the wind. You know, you can feel more, maybe you feel the sun, okay. Next time when you travel, you go on bicycle, okay. And on bicycle, again, you have your eyes, you have the wind, but now you hear. You start to hear more about what's happening, maybe the cows or a church bell somewhere far away, you know. And let's say you're walking, okay? Now you're walking, and now you're going to start to feel the heat maybe from the sun even more. And you're still going to have the eyes to see and the smell, but then you're going to feel more. And as you walk, maybe you're going to see a flower, and then you're going to stop. And then you're going to pick it up, and then maybe you're going to smell. And then you sit down, and then you start like, you absorbed everything. So the slower you go, the more you give time for your senses to feed you. Okay. So when we are perfectionist, you know, I think you can easily agree that perfectionist, where is it in our body? You know, it's in our mind. And a perfectionist goes fast. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, so actually holidays it's like the moving from the airplane maybe to the car to the bicycle. So when I'm still going too fast, when I feel like I'm not achieving what I want, then I stop. You know, I say, okay, uh, it's a timeout. So I don't know what expression you could say. Make yourself a cup of tea, a cup of cocoa. Um, a timeout is just say, okay, I'm going to take time for myself. And actually, we're sometimes when we're so busy about what's the best gift or what's the best thing I could do for someone, often one of the best gifts if is just time, but not time of you doing what I'd like to give you, but say, okay, let's I'm just gonna listen to what you need. Let's just do, you know, for an hour, for a day, for how much time you have. Let's not do my plan. Let me get lost in your plan. And often we it's like seeing the world through somebody else's eyes for a moment. And that's you know, it's a beautiful gift. So
Yeah.
uh
Two things come up from what you just said.
tell me.
Um, Forgetting about expectations, because you
Mhm.
could never be prepared what color the sign of the coffee shop might be. Like you could never possibly, especially if it's a town you've never been before. So
Mhm.
a lowering or just saying no to your expectations, whatever they might be. Let's say you expect it's going to snow and it's not snowing, so your holiday's ruined. Like that's one example. And it might happen with kids, you know, with little
Mhm.
ones. And another thing that I want to point out for all the people who, like myself as well, and all who are listening, I have one friend who wrote it on her Facebook wall officially, like no presents this year. I want you to come to my place and have a proper coffee, proper tea with me. Sit down and we'll have a conversation. Like she put it out there, and amazingly did resonate with so many people, like so many of the people that I would normally like see my friends who put the worth into like physical things, like physical gifts, but it really did resonate with them this year as well, because I think recently people appreciate spending time with each other a bit more. It's becoming more frequent, doesn't it? So gift ideas, write this down. Why not to make it like the old times coupon? Like I present an hour of uninterrupted time, like your time with me, and I'm not promising I'm going to be perfect listener, but I will be there for you to the best of my like ability, to the best of me that I could be at that time. And if that person loves you or appreciates you, they will take that gift with great appreciation. So that's, I think, wonderful gift idea that you could gift to someone, or walk together. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you. It's like, and that's a very touching feeling, to give time, to take time, to do a coupon, like you say. Um, and you could call it a you time, you
You
know.
time, yeah.
Yeah, a you time coupon because some people, like you say, I'm a hugger, and some people are not huggers. So offering them to have a walk might not be what matters for them,
Yeah.
you know. It might, I have a friend who, um, you know, bless her heart, but money, it's not, it's often about money, you know, and the value of a relationship is about uh, how much are you spending on that
Mm,
person. And for her, it's hard to understand that I'm not one who show my friendship or expression through money.
yeah.
I don't. It's just not me. Um, in the same way, in the same breath, I tell this friend, this lovely friend that um, I'm not holding back anything, because basically I don't money myself up. It's not like I would go and buy myself new shoes and new clothes and go all the time to restaurant. And then when I meet this friend, I wouldn't buy her clothes
Yeah.
or food or restaurant. No, basically, I treat my friend the same way I treat myself. Um, I have a very minimal life. Uh, I like to walk. Um, I have always have my journal with me. Um, I can spend hours journaling. Um, and at one point, I really, listening to other people who don't journal and who are always busy, I suddenly started to appreciate what an amazing gift I have. Because let's say an hour per day, I have somebody listening to me, or I can pour my heart out, and then that's so healing. That's such a gift. So a journal might be a good gift.
Empty
And
journal.
yeah, exactly, an empty journal. You're just like, no, no, enough about yourself. No, I don't want any. What's interesting is, when I meet people, what I love to do, of course I don't do it like this because, I am a very intense person. I'm a very open, intense person. But basically, it's like, who are you? What are you doing with your life? What are your dreams? What are your expectations? What are your, what is your vibes? Wow, I want to learn so much because, life is such an amazing gift. Um, so uh, writing poetry for someone, you know, um, talking about gifts. Um, it doesn't have to be good poetry. Um,
Good
I
point. It has to be special.
It comes from you,
Yeah.
you could buy Christmas cards, yeah, of course. And I like cards. I like things that I can keep in my drawer and year after years. And but cards that are homemade, um, even if you're not, again, perfectionism. That word's gonna come up a lot of time, you know. But uh, doing from a collage from old magazines, and just do, and nobody's gonna have the heart to discard, after Christmas, these anonymous cards that all look the same, and then you have yours,
Yeah.
which is made, and the message is there, the poem is there. Time. It comes back to time. I mean, of course, you can go to the uh, dollar store or 1 pound store. I forgot how they call it, But and then okay, 5 minutes. Maybe I spent money, but just took me 5 minutes,
Yeah.
as opposed to spending 2 hours making something and then giving that. mm, that's
Mm.
something, what we remember are not the big things. It's the attentions that people get hold. That's what, when I do clowning, it's not about giving gifts. It's not about making people laugh. It's about being present. Uh, the trick of a clown knows, it's to say, I'm a safe person. And for that moment, I am all yours. So from the outside, it might seem, oh, it's because I make people laugh.
Mm.
Well, to make people laugh, I have to be present and they have
Mm.
to be present. So it's actually being present. Cooking together, that's a beautiful thing. Um, Making cookies, um, also with children, making pizza, making their food, not
Yeah.
not not making our food. Um, yeah. Uh, Again, cooking is the after product of spending time together. Clowning is the after product of spending time together. So the gift in itself is spending time being with the other. Um, and again, just to take back again the example of cooking, if the grown up or the person who proposing um, decides everything, then it's going to be stressful for the person participating, for the kid. Um, if you just uh, say, okay, these are the ingredients. What can we make now? What would you like? Food coloring. Why not food coloring? Um, I always say about, I'm sure, like me, you're conscious about your health.
Of
Um,
course, yeah. But once in a while, you can allow a bit of a,
and exactly, that's for me, that's the point, is that
yeah.
the point of being healthy is to be unhealthy once in a while. If not,
Mm.
there's no point in being healthy. So, um, to have a treat. So, cooking together. Again, it's always the question of time, and expectations. Okay,
Yeah.
I've spoken a lot, so I'll let you. What do you think about these things? Cooking and crafts work, and even music, for example.
Um, yes, yes, and yes, because I think that humming, even humming, not even singing or playing an instrument, it changes the atmosphere totally in home or in environment, be it like even a park or any place. I think
Mhm.
like in Dublin, those who have the possibility to walk through the main streets now, like two main, like Grafton Street, let's say, there's always someone playing some music and it changes the atmosphere. The people they tend to walk in the rhythm of the music, or some of them stop, some of them applaud, or some of them know the song, probably who the person is playing. And of course, it impacts the atmosphere and the handmade things. I had opportunity this morning to watch quite a lengthy video about it was kind of a lecture of a person. I won't say his name because, you know, it might leave an impression. Impression as in leaving an impression, not like wow impression, but like
Okay.
mark um, in somebody's views who are listening. And the main idea was that yes, we must pay attention what we touch and how we touch things, and not only things but other people as well. And while listening to what he had to say, like he was talking about materials, like material things, like is it man-made, let's say artificial material, or is it like harvested somewhere out and probably by your hand, or
Mm.
let's say it's natural wool, or is it synthetic material, or is it linen, or any material that you could say that it's more natural than artificial, and the feel of those materials, and add the hand production. And I don't know if you know this term slow fashion.
Hmm.
Yeah, and let's say like Primark and all those brands like H&M and Zara's and all those would be fast fashion. And
Hmm.
slow fashion, I'm just explaining a bit for those who have first time probably heard. And let's say secondhand shops and all that, that would kind of include the slow fashion thing, not because they're old clothes, but because we want to give every last bit of opportunity for those clothes to serve us, and not for them to end up in a dumpster just after a few wears. So I think what I hear from you, uh, that this is the direction that we might encourage people to think, like think how you're touching each other, not like physically even, but like
Hmm.
with how you speak with each other. And then with your permission, I would like to dive a bit deeper. We so far we spoke about like practical things mostly and how we feel and our experiences so far this year. But to make the conversation a bit deeper and wider, I would love to speak about in my language, like doula's language and birth professional language, that would be oxytocin and happiness hormones and all that stuff. But um, I want to touch that part where, like, imagine two blocks. You have to be happy, but then some people, they're like, there's this happy image, but they don't feel any happy in that image.
Mm.
They feel
Totally.
frightened. They feel
Uh-huh.
that they're trapped. And oh my God, one's got, you mentioned cookies. They have stomach ache, even thinking about those cookies.
Yeah.
And you get where I'm going.
Mhm.
It's the
Mhm.
memories and it's the history of each individual
Yeah.
and our like what we connect to these feelings. If you would go deeper and probably give some examples where like normal people would connect these things with happy feelings, and you probably could give some example that you'd say no, that's definitely no for me and it doesn't bring me comfort and please don't go there.
Boy, I totally get I get what you're thinking about oxytocin and feeling of happiness. And I think each one, I mean, life is a beautiful gift. It is. Um, and each of us is a gift. And you could say, you know, like since we're talking about Christmas, each of us come in a unique box with a unique paper and pattern and unique bows. And that's the beauty of it. Um, now, let's stick with the box and the paper. So some have big box, some have small box, some have big bows and small bows. And the thing, and we talk about expectation, it's about this idea that whatever you can handle, it's part of your story, of your storyline, of why you're here, why you're born. And other people are in their own journey of self-discovery. Do I have an example in my life? Um, let's say I was just doing improv. Okay. Why did I join improv? Um, Actually, improv bothered me. Okay, so what I mean improv, I don't because there's music
It's a
improv. It's when
theater. Yeah, is it?
theater improv where like two, three people get on stage and then they ask for suggestion and they have a 2 minute kind of play. There was a TV show about this, which was in the US. Whose line is it anyway? Anyway, so
Hmm.
that kind of improv. And that there was something inside of me, each time they say, oh, an improv workshop, say, no, no, I don't want to go. There was something that not so much irritated me, but I felt like, and I didn't know what. And then a few months ago, a place opened up 2 streets away from my home. Okay, now this time it was just there, and I went to a free demonstration. I took part. I was shy. I didn't know what to do, but it was just we were just playing games. I said, okay, I feel safe enough to play games. And then uh, finally I did okay. I'm going to do a class. And in the first class, that's what I said. I'm here not because I like improv, but because it's something that irks me about it. It's something that kind of makes me very uncomfortable. But from my experience in my own journey, when I meet something uncomfortable, it means there's a learning for me to get there.
Yeah.
And of course, it was a safe environment. So I don't go, I won't go in a dark alley at midnight
You might
where
be
there's
uncomfortable there.
exactly thank you. Exactly, that's my point. So I'm not somebody who puts myself in uncomfortable environments, but um, people are doing improv. They're happy. I'm a laughter yoga teacher, so I know about being a bit uncomfortable. I'm breaking the ice with laughter yoga because I've experienced it. I know that it's possible and that it becomes very fun, very, very entertaining. Um, and so I started to do the improv. And what I've learned is that it's okay to be myself. And that's that's what I was scared about doing improv. It's not so much about having fun, but just that I've been vulnerable in a group situation. Um, and the more I learn improv, it's the more about letting go. And it's about yes and, meaning you accept whatever situation is happening. Which comes back again, I think maybe that's going to be the theme of the show,
Yeah.
perfectionism, you know. Um, because accepting things as they are is about not wanting perfection, but dealing with what's happening. Now, I went to another improv workshop, and during the improv, I just, you know, touched the arm of the person because of the play we were doing, and she kind of, oh, okay. So I played with that. She became, the scene we were mother and child. And then when she reacted like that, I said, okay, that's the direction it's going. So then I became like, oh, the pouting child and say, oh, you're always like this and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, and eventually, um, when the whole session was over, she came and she discussed that she doesn't like to be touched. I said, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know that this was your limit, you could say. So it's very interesting that we were all doing improv. And in improv, some people, we hug and there's almost no limit. But then she was somebody who was doing improv, but she had that limit. And that was very interesting to understand that somebody may look like you, may feel like you, but you never know. So as I say with clowning, it's an invitation. It's never about me, my expectations. I want to make you laugh. It's about, do you welcome me into your little world? Um, so it's about consciousness, being aware of what you're giving out. So that's one step. And at the same time, being aware of the environment. Um, Creating a safe environment, maybe I could summarize as an environment where there's no expectations of you. So I welcome you into an environment where I have no expectations of you. Um, Maybe that's a long answer. I don't know if I went into the direction you were asking.
No, it's an excellent answer because it
Okay.
brings, I think, not only me, but everyone um to their own lives, not only thinking about what you or me have experienced, but like you in pretty much excellent way show that by your clear example in your life, you brought us all. Like I was thinking about, like, of course, your experience as well, but I wasn't there. I wasn't in the impro. I went along with your story, but I was thinking continuously about my life and my happenings and how I felt. And I think it's excellent way of how to speak about this topic because it's a tough one. It's a tough one because we always think that um almost always, I'd say. Some people are more perfect than other. Perfection. But almost all of us could, I think, always say that we have this expectation how others should know before we explain how we feel, that they should know how we feel. But it's almost never the case, really. Almost never. So it's a bit confusing. And when we mix in this festive season into all of this and people wanting to look
Hmm.
good, you know, and I don't know what makeup you wear when you wear your makeup, but like on the female side, the feminine side, we tend to wear some makeup and we tend to look even, at least try to look better when we go out, when it's like concert or some beautiful event. And it might mask some of the signs how we actually feel. And I even have few friends who say the worse I feel, the better I look, because I pay attention to what I'm gonna wear, how I'm gonna like what kind of makeup I'm gonna put on and what kind of shoes I'm gonna wear. So it's funny that and talking about natural and artificial fibers as well, we might connect it all in a way of like, what message are we sending? And is it worth it? That's the question that came up now while listening to what you said, because I think that the messages are important because life happens after festive season as well. It's not just and this is the thing, actually. I went
Hmm.
to one of our local charity shops 2 weeks ago, I think, or even 3 weeks ago. The festive season starts after Halloween in Ireland. It's just the lights are on, and I don't know how it's in Canada.
It's very close to, like you say, it's like I think once Christmas is over, it's gonna be the Valentine's.
Yeah,
People
yeah, that's the
celebrating the
next big
Valentine's.
thing. Yeah.
So
And about 3 weeks ago, I went to this charity shop, and there were two elderly ladies sitting, and it's like, oh, the Christmas. And all this fuss about that one day, that one Christmas morning, they don't even appreciate it. These little they use the word that I want to use in the show, but they were speaking about kids that won't even appreciate all the presents. There are mountains of presents that some
Mm.
parents get for their kids. And I don't want to sound like this whiny person who says, and some kids get none, because that's the reality. Some kids get none. And I don't want to guilt trap those parents who can afford, because it's just a situation of like, that's life, that's how things happen in life. But what we could put emphasis on would be probably, okay, let's afford more. If you feel like affording more, that's your love language. But think about the intention. And I really love what you said. Put yourself in a child's position, like what they would be really, really excited and happy
Mhm.
about. Maybe
Mhm.
it's not the material thing. Maybe it's really like some special park or even museum. Like, it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Bring your child to museum, but some museums are really fun.
Yeah, 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 no, and I totally agree. And the point that you're underlining there is that it if you want to give love or time, then give love or time to what is valued by the person you want to give, and not what you value as important. Um, Everyone has their own story, and their story is unfolding, and their stories is made of chapters, chapters that open, and sometimes chapters that close. So as we go on our journey in life, some people may be keeping the same chapters over and over and over again, and they would need the energy of an outside force to be able to move on to the next chapter. Now, one thing that you said prior to this was about the makeup and the image and stuff like. And now, in my turn, in my mind, when you were talking about this, something came up which I'd like to share. Uh, I talk about the five dimensions of being, and the story, the book is basically that's the mind. But there's the mind, there's the heart, uh, there's the body, there's the spirit, and there's the universe. The big gift of the universe. And now, when you talk about the makeup, now let's talk about the fourth one, which is the spirit or the soul. Again, I just use words that fit in my story. So sometimes we need to kind of Google Translate or DeepL translator so that to find the words that speak to you, that goes into your language. But basically, the mind, the feelings, the body. But the spirit is about our intention, the energy that we have, that we give. And when you were talking about the makeup, that's what I heard. It's not so much about the expectation, but it's, uh, I speak Dutch because sometimes words you have to say them in that original language because it just fits. So in Dutch, they will talk about straling. So straling, I like the you can see it in there, but it's the vibrations you are giving out. You could say the sun, between the sun and you, what you receive is the straling of the sun, is the vibes. When you feel, sometimes you say, oh boy, this person is really self-confident, or you walk into a room and you look at the different people, some people are like, and then some are more like that. And this, I'm sure you take the public transport, the metro.
I was just translate for the Latvian speaking audience. In Latvian, it's strāvojums. So it's
Beautiful. I love, say it again.
strāvojums.
Okay, I like the volumes part. That's a very delicious, like straling, but stray volume it's a
Yeah.
beautiful word there. Um, so for example, I take the metro, and then of course, so there's like 50 people here and there. And then sometimes as a mental exercise, just happens. It's not something I plan. I focus on one person, and then I imagine the whole metro is filled only with that person. And then maybe he's just kind of standing like this. So basically, now I'm surrounded by 50 people with the same strap balloon, whatever you say, the same level of energy. Um, so our energy, what we give out. So when you say about the makeup, um, the person you said that the more difficult emotion they have inside, the more beautiful they look outside. Well, that's what I say. The strahling is the emotion that's pouring out from under the makeup. Okay. Now, there's a story in there, and that's always important. Respect your story at whatever point you are. You know, that's the most important thing. And when you give time to somebody, it's basically here, I'm going to listen to your story. I'm going to listen to you, and I'm not going to tell you unless you ask me, of course, you know, but I'm here to discover where you are in your journey, in your awareness, in your needs, and often we're so surprised when we uh, really listen, you know. So to that energy of the person, when you really listen, what for them is so important in yourself, you see, oh my God, I wouldn't have never imagined that this was an issue, that this was important. But you don't say that. This is for the self growth. Um, and there's something, when we cut ourselves, we heal. But that's people are gonna, how do you say gift in Latvian?
Gift,
Yeah,
dāvana.
davana. Oh, I'm thinking I'm gonna learn that language. Sounds wonderful. So
It's actually one of the oldest languages in Europe. There's
really,
Lithuanian and Latvian. Yeah, left. It's Baltic languages, so it's pretty much worth it. Yeah.
so gift again is what?
Dāvana.
Davana. So I'm going to use, you can call me Mr. Davana because I'm going to repeat that word so many times, you know. So when we cut ourselves, it heals. We don't heal when we cut if we keep playing with it. That's why we don't heal. Now, our energy, our strahling, is a healing energy. Our story is healing itself. So when you listen to somebody, the worst thing you can do is to give them answers to their story because these answers corresponds to your story. Okay. So the person with the makeup and the sad feeling, all you need to do is be there and listen. And if you create the safe environment, they will self heal. Little caveat, just a little thing to say, but some people say gonna say, but Guy, it's not that easy. It cannot be that easy. That's when they use the three-letter word but. So they might tell you their story. So they're telling you their story is their healing part. That's the gift you're giving them. I'm giving you the room to heal yourself. And in their story, at one point, they might interrupt themselves and start again with but. And the but is basically when you're scratching on your bobo. So each time somebody uses they say it's unconsciously they're saying, I'm not ready yet to let go of my story.
And can you help? Like when you hear them saying this, but can you
Just
help them somehow or just keep being there?
just being there, you help. As soon as you have a but, you need to step back. Um, if it's not one, two, three, you're out, but it's like as soon as you have a but, you stay there, you accept their but, and you offer them more coffee, more tea, maybe another biscuit, you know. When they get to a but, you could say they need more comforting. They need more security at that point. And
Yeah.
again, it's the beginning of our conversation. It's about what's the gift you can you know my mother is like 93 now. She's in the old folks care. So I went there as a not as a clown, you know, but as a clown, I do go to seniors' places and do stuff, but that doesn't work with her. Uh, you know, I try to
She
play
knows
music.
you. She knows you too well.
Exactly, exactly. Um, so over the years, I've tried different things. How can I, you know, I want her to have a nice ending of life, you know. These are her last years, and you know, how can I make her the most comfortable in what she's going through? Um, she has a lot of anger. You know, it's when I talk about chapters in your book that you don't let go. Um, I you know, so it's like a friend, you know, a friend who's angry. You don't like that they're angry, so you say you, but that never works. It just doesn't work. So recently, I've just changed. I said, let's try something different, and I've just ask her questions so that she tells me her story, and that's it. I have no comments, no um, motives, no expectations. I just want to share my time with her, and my gift, you know, is to uh, have her be there. Maybe it's going to bring some healing, maybe not, but it's not about me. So holidays, I think the best gift, what will be remembered. And again, it's not, we don't want to give something to be remembered by, you know, that's not the point either. But it's the idea that, you know, if you love that person, then let them be themselves. And um, the work that needs to be done is on yourself and not on them. So
As funny as
basically,
that might sound, I even want to slow this down because this is really, really important. The work that is being done is not on somebody else, but it's on you.
yeah. And it's so, you know, the best gift is to work on yourself so that you're available for the other person. And if you are not ready, let's go back to the touching. Please, no guilt and no shame. We
Yeah.
are, each of us, on a journey. And on our journey, we are at the steps that we are at the step at. That's why, you know, what I teach, what I value, what I do in my workshop is about consciousness. It's about awareness. It's not about trying to attain something. It's not trying to be something. It's not trying to be something for yourself or to be something for someone else. It's about acknowledging, being aware of this is where I am now in this moment. Um, One of the best exercise we can do, and let's do a 30-second of this. It's just a basically breathing, It's a some people call it a guided meditation, but it's just basically, for 30 seconds, I'm sitting calm. My hands are just falling down on my knees. Don't have to do this or whatnot, just kind of falling. And I'm gonna lead it just for a little 30 seconds. So we can close our eyes or not close our eyes. And we just breathe normally. We can feel our feet. We can feel the seat of our pants on the chair. I'm sure there's some weight there. Maybe we're hungry, maybe we're thirsty, and that's fine. Maybe since we're relaxing now, maybe we can feel some tension in our face, around our eyes. And we can just come back, and that's a little 30-second breather. And that was when I talk about the mind, the heart, the body, the spirit, number four. What we just did now is a bit of number four. It's the straling, it's the energy, you know. Um, so when you listen to somebody and you say, "Oh, I don't want my buttons to be pushed," like we're an accordion. You say, "Oh, he's saying this," and like, oh, if we act like that, the person's just gonna whoa, you react. It's like that's the work. It's like I'm listening. I'm just kind of breathing. I'm there. I'm a witness. I think that's another word. Um, you can just be a witness. Um, if you feel that you're getting lost in your own buttons, that happens. You know, somebody might say something and it makes you reacting. That's fine. Um, then you can just repeat what they just have said. Uh, you can reformulate it, but reformulating it, sometimes we put our own expectations and perfectionism in it. So that's more tricky.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some people, when you listen to them, they might react that you're not reacting. That's when the but in their story is going to come back. Say, oh, but you don't care anyway. Oh, but you're not listening, or but whatever. Um, some people might want to hold hands or not. Um, Not a good trick. I don't like the word trick, but it's also how you position yourself in a chair. With your spouse, your lover, your friend. Uh, the best way to uh, short circuit an argument. You're having an argument with your friend, your lover, or your whatever. Sit beside. Just sit beside, not in front. That's going to short circuit the argument right away. Just sit beside. Again, number four, you've just changed the energy. You just changed the vibe. You didn't say anything. You just say, in your mind, you're doing the work. The an expression is your lover, your spouse, your friend. you're both looking in the same direction. You have the same objective,
Um,
to make peace. You know it. Maybe the other one doesn't know because he's not doing the work. He's not aware. His button has been pushed too much, which is fine. It's fine. It's always the same of uh, two people are fall in the water, and they're drowning. You know, help yourself, make yourself safe before you go try to save the other one. Um, if not, both of you are going to drown. And how often do we drown in arguments? It's that simple. Um, I like this kindergarten uh, tool. You have two kids fighting in the playground or in whatever, and you don't say, now stop it and who started it and stuff like that. You say, now who's intelligent enough to stop? You know, and you can just twist it in a mature word to say who's aware enough, who's conscious enough to stop.
mm,
The question is never who started it. That's irrelevant. That's just a story. That's irrelevant. The question is who's aware enough to get back on track. Um, we talk about expectations. That's number two. That's about the heart. The mind is about forgiveness. And that's a whole
mm. That's another
maybe
topic.
and maybe we can do our New Year's
I just
talk.
wanted to say because our hour is up, and I wanted to ask you, you know, what what is your wish for anyone who is listening? But then you gave so many
Well, I do
tips
have a
already. But
I,
you just said what I want to ask you. Maybe for the good luck or whatever, we could do the third one as a recap. Like, how was this season in a few weeks' time? Like, let's say 3 weeks' time, to see how people are going, and like, are they going on a path that they thought they're going, or
yeah,
maybe they need a new set of rules or
yeah, and speak about forgiveness because I think it's one of
forgiveness. Yeah, it's a big
yeah,
topic, is it?
it's a big topic. And New Year's is resolutions, is
Yeah.
about to end the chapter of your life if it needs to be ended or not. And um, so yes, 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 totally. Um, let's do that. Just
Okay.
yeah.
But still, maybe you have something that, as a conclusion, that some wise words or something that comes to your mind now that you really want to say.
Okay. What comes to my mind? What comes to my mind is that uh, each of us have a gift, and that's the gift of our stories. And our stories is where we are in this journey. So embrace where you are in your journey. And the best, most beautiful gift you can give is embrace where the other person is in their journey. That's my advice for Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all, or Merry Festival, or whatever holiday you want to call it. Uh, Lots of cookies and hot cocoa for you.
Yeah. And mine is going to be simple. Have a breather. And maybe the one that you just showed us, maybe a bit longer, maybe a bit shorter, but just have a breather.
Have a breather. I'm
Be
I'm with
healthy.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
the invitation. And we'll see each other in January.
January. Going to be
Ooh.
fun because we'll talk about forgiveness, which is so much fun.
I
Thanks.
love you all.